Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. And so, Katja, welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, Episode 1, Season 5.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Really excited to have this conversation with you. And so, as always, the way that I kind of start these things off is to have you introduce yourself, and then we kind of just allow the conversation to develop from there.
So my name is Katja Rusanen, and I come from Finland originally. So if you wonder where this accent is from, and I have been on the transformational journey myself, and then I got the inspiration to help others on their way. And currently I'm helping people with transformational stories, how to share their journey and inspire others through the work that they do. And I'm also a spiritual counselor and wanting to help people to really discover and connect the purpose that they have, and then helping them to share it, as well as sharing those stories that what they are here to do and what they are here to inspire, because I believe that we can learn through our life journeys, and then when we find those lessons, we can help others by sharing them.
Beautiful. And can you talk to us a little bit about how you use channeling in your work, and how channeling forms part of the relationship that you have with the people you work with, and the whole kind of experience of building your business and helping other people expand in the way that they're communicating?
Mm-hmm. And it is interesting, because when we had this conversation about channeling, I said, like, my approach for the work that I do is spirit-led. Like, I am guided through what tools I take from my toolbox. And sometimes as well, when we are talking about the stories, at least I was stuck in the past, and I was stuck in the hurt, what I experienced. And it was thanks to Spirit and the insights that I received from my own journey, I started to see the lessons that I was learning through the experiences. And that's how I help others as well. Like, often when we go through challenging or even traumatic life experiences, we might get stuck in the pain and the hurt. So what I do is working with Spirit to shine light on those moments where we are stuck, and then helping them to start seeing beyond, like start seeing the lessons and the gifts that we have received, the growth that has happened because of we went through something challenging. And then the Spirit is leading me, like, what questions to ask, where to take the conversation. Sometimes I feel like they are highlighting when somebody is sharing something, I'm like, there is a key. Let's dive deeper to talk about what that experience was. Because often it is, in order for us to share our journey, we need to find peace within us first. And that's the process that I'm working with people to find that peace within. And then we are like crafting the story. That's the easy part, like, okay, and now we can work on that story and how to share it. But it's often working through that shame, resistance, whatever that is, that might be holding them back from not wanting to share the transformational journey. And that's where spirit is really guiding and leading me where to go when people come to work with me.
And is your guidance from spirit, does it come through a knowing? Does it come through, do you hear them? How do you personally connect with your team or whatever, or their team to kind of work collaboratively? How do you sense them? And the reason that I'm asking this, just to be a little transparent for those that are listening, one of the reasons that I really am excited about this platform is that we're bringing the concept of being connected with spirit as a natural part of our day-to-day experience. And what we're doing, most of us that are here presenting, speaking, sharing our ideas and our experiences with you guys, have labeled that connection as channeling and have developed that in some way or another. And this is something that all of us do constantly. We're always channeling. Have it be our teams, have it be our loved ones, have it be the natural elements around us. I mean, we're constantly in communication with everything around us, and we are receiving messages from them constantly. And part of what I want to do with this platform is to put a spotlight on that, to allow you to see that this is something that happens within you, so that you can then develop that skill and become more conscious of it and utilize that more effectively and more efficiently in your day-to-day. And so this is the reason that I'm asking Katja to describe for us a little bit more how she knows that this conversation that she's having is quote unquote spirit-led versus just her own ideas.
Yeah, and that is a great question. And for me, it's more direct knowing. And even though sometimes I hear people seeing all these things, and I'm like, oh, I would love to see all these things, and I just get word or or a sentence, or okay, like I said earlier, like it feels like when somebody speaks, something is highlighted. That's the experience that I have. The some word just pops up, and like that's the key, and that's how I'm working with people. And why I'm sensing that this is spirit led, because it's sometimes the things that come through, it's like it's beyond my knowing, like my mind. Like I do not have the information what happened to them when they were 8 years old, that there is the key. Or like sometimes we connect some past life stuff as well when I'm doing the work, and I might get those words, what was going on, and then the client is sharing something that is along the same lines. So it's very much experience of, for me, knowing the things. And this has been a learning journey for me, because I have a very quick mind. So I needed to learn in a way to step back and let that information come through and just listen as well. And that has been definitely an experience for me to also learn to trust that I am guided throughout this process when I'm working with clients, and it's always for the highest good. And that's always my wish. And it's my wish for this session too, that it is serving people for the highest good and bringing them insights and inspiration on this journey.
And I love the fact that you say that a certain phrase or certain words are highlighted. And I personally, a lot of my connection with spirit is through my knowing, which I always talk about as being one of the most difficult ones to develop, because it's the way that we've acted and lived our entire life. So learning to disassociate our thought process knowing from a message that's coming through that same channel is really challenging for me. But
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to kind of ask you is, I want to focus on this highlight because I think it's so cool. Is it a highlight? Do you hear the words differently? Do you kind of see something when that happens? What differentiates the words from a normal sentence for these 3 words to be highlighted? How do you know that those are the ones to focus on?
And that's a really good question, and I do my best to explain it because it's like, well, it's highlighted,
It happens. I don't know.
It's just highlighted, like there would be a text and something is highlighted, and it is just, even though they would speak with the same tone, there is just the word in a way stands out. It's just like it would be bold in the text.
Do you
If
hear
that,
so okay, so here's the I guess the question that I'm asking is, okay, again, for those of you that are new to the whole channeling spiritual world, we all have abilities that are related to our senses. Every single one of us. And Jamie Butler, who's one of my teachers, talks about how we've got our 5 senses, and then our spiritual senses are right on top of that. And it kind of plays off of and extends our 5 senses. And we have other senses as well, but we're just simplifying it with the 5. And so a lot of people will talk about the clairs. So clairaudient, clairsentient, the different clairs. And they're basically talking about your ability to hear and connect with spirit via sound, have it be inside your ears or have it be outside your ears. So in your head voice or in your head ears, versus you can actually hear sound externally. Likewise, you can see images in your mind's eye, or you can literally see energy outside of you. And so what I'm asking Katja to just kind of play with a little bit is, with regards to this highlight of words, is she hearing the words differently? So that's connecting with her clair hearing. I always get the words confused.
one of them.
The clair hearing one, I simplify it. The clair hearing one. Or is it that she sees something different as the word is coming? Or does she just sense that those words have something deeper within them? And there isn't a right way or a wrong way. I'm just curious how it highlights for her, because this is going to be different for all of us. We all connect with energy differently. We all have different strengths within our perceptual systems, energetic perceptual systems. We all have the capacity to do all of them, but just like in our human bodies, some people are better at one thing versus another. Just their natural skill set lends them towards that. And so our spiritual senses seem to have a similar kind of experience where one of us will lean more towards, seeing images or seeing energy, versus someone else will hear words and or within their mind's ear or externally. Both Katja and I seem to connect with the clair knowing, the clair cognizant. Then there's people that feel things, which is the clair sentient. They'll literally feel energy touch them, move them. They'll feel, things. Anyway, so that's why I'm just kind of picking on Katja a little bit, partly to kind of play with the new people that are joining us and just kind of bringing them up to speed on the types of conversations that we have on this show. But I'm also curious because, I'm looking to develop my own abilities beyond just the knowing. So I'm always curious how different people that I speak with and work with, how they connect with energy and what their process is. So so I'm just curious.
And the one thing that came to my mind as well when you were sharing, it's also because words have energy, like what we communicate has energy. So it can be also how the highlighting is happening inside of me, like that's more like knowing, oh, that's has something. But I'm also like, that might have a different type of energy, that there is a charge with that word. So that is kind of there might be something there. It's not yet in peace. It's not yet resolved. The word choices that they use, that kind of points out that word, that it stands out from the context.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because in my work with New Code NLP, we talked a lot about learning how to observe subtle differences in the person that we're working with. And so we really learn to connect with the individual's unconscious and their communication that happens unconsciously. And so one could argue that what Katja is doing is noticing the subtle shift in the individual's voice tone or the energy, the inflection of the voice as they're speaking that, because the unconscious is trying to communicate, this is something that leads to the resistance that we want to play with right now. And where I'm coming from it is, okay, that might be possible from a kind of, moment to moment, human to human conversation. But what I'm really excited about is to play with what is happening spiritually behind that. Because there's an element where, as Katja described, and I'm kind of putting words in her mouth, she connects with her spirit team and the spirit team of the person she's working with, and she's open to receiving guidance from them. So they're collaborating and collecting information and sharing that with Katja through whatever means are available. And one of them may be her ability to observe micro muscle movements, her ability to observe micro shifts in the voice that are imperceptible to somebody else, but Katja is hypersensitive to that, and so they utilize that. They choose to utilize that to communicate to Katja as a way of guidance. And so again, I'm bringing this up as just an opportunity to go beyond what the kind of the human to human interaction is with life, and to look beyond that towards where's the spiritual element that's influencing this? How am I connecting with spirit through this? How is spirit communicating to me through this? And so this is really exciting. And as always, Katja, since you and I have never really had this kind of conversation before, I don't know where these conversations go, and I don't know what is said. And so this is where we've gone, which is, again, similar to what you're talking about, is I listen for what inspires me to share, what inspires me to bring up. I don't have any of this planned. And in the community of the three principles, we talk about how when we allow our minds to settle and to quiet down, which is exactly what you said, and we just listen, but listen deeply, not listen actively, listen passively, listen deeply, it opens up space for our higher self, the intelligence of life, the wisdom of life, spiritual intelligence, whatever term you want to use, to communicate to you and through you. And Katja described it beautifully. So different models, different modalities will describe it in different ways. And what I'm trying to highlight in this platform is this is all channeled information. Channeling is not something spectacular, out of the ordinary. It is something that happens to all of us every day, all the time. We just don't recognize it or label it in that way. And our collective community is evolving to a point where this is going to become more natural for all of us to communicate more openly, more consciously, more freely with spirit at all levels as a regular day-to-day experience for all of us as a global community. So that's really exciting. And right now we're in this bridge of transitioning from the old way of living to a new way of living. So we're in the hump of the change, which is also really exciting. But anyway, thank you, Katja, for letting me kind of share a little bit. The first session is always a little bit different because there's people that are joining the season that may not be familiar with things. So thank you for giving me the space to kind of share some of this. So I would love to kind of turn this back over to you and kind of say, thank you for the introduction. Where do you want to go from here?
Yeah, I often invite people to, because I want to also invite the people who are here tuning in to just for a moment, imagine if this life would be Earth school. Like that's how I like to refer it. We came here to Earth school. And the thing that happened though, like we kind of don't remember often what we came here to learn. Like if we planned a spiritual curriculum before we were born, we kind of came here and then we kind of forget. And then we go through these life experiences and we might be like, why this is happening to me? Like all this is tough place to be. But what if all of these things would be happening for you, for your learning, growth, and upliftment? So that just shifts the whole way how we see our journey. And that's part of the story work that I do, because I went through years when I felt that life happened to me. And that was tough. And then, thanks to spiritual teachers, I started seeing that life happened for me. And if you feel that there might be some events still in your past that you might feel that life happened to me, like just want to share quickly like my own journey a little bit so people might be able to relate some of the experiences, even though mine was kind of life and death thing. And that was like when I was 16 years old, I fell in love with for the first time. And you might also remember your first love, like all of a sudden, everything is so beautiful and you just see the world differently. But unfortunately, my love story did not last that long and it did not have happily ever after. It ended when I heard the news that my boyfriend had died by suicide. And that put me into a very dark place for many, many years. And as it was so devastating for me because I was like going through every detail, every word I could remember and looking for signs which I had ignored because I'm very intuitive. So I was like, how didn't I see this? How couldn't I prevent this? So I felt that it was all my fault. I should have saved him. So I should have been more. I should have been more attentive, more attractive, more anything. And because I was not, it was all my fault. And that was a very heavy burden to carry. So much so that one morning I walked out from the house and I walked to a riverbank and I was very close to just finish it all, walk to a river because I did not want to feel the pain. But last minute, there was a divine intervention that came light into my mind and that made me remember my parents and their love, and that made me turn back. So I chose life. And that choice started my healing journey. That choice put me even more on the spiritual path because I was seeking the answers, and the only place I found them was spirituality and starting to see life from soul's perspective instead of just seeing the suffering and hurt. And why I wanted to share this is that we go through some challenging life experiences, and I wish that your experiences are not that extreme than mine. Mine was life and death, but if they are, I have a lot of compassion and love for you. But I just wanted to share this, that it's possible to transform our past. We can't change what happened, but we can indeed find some deeper meaning and purpose, and also transform the stories we tell about our past. Because everything is now. Even those things happened in the past, we carry the things from the past within us, this life, past lives, whatever that is. It's now. And it's influencing now. And just want you to know that there is a way, and this is where spirit is also supporting you. For me, when I was in those dark moments, there were people that were sent on my way, and I was wanted to push them away. They were these sparks of light, and they came to check on me, and I was like, just go away, leave me alone. There were these random people just checking on me, like, how are you doing? And I was like, where did this come? But also you might get sometimes these nudges within you to reach out to someone, to check in some stranger or give them a smile or just do something. So those are also signs that I would highly encourage you just to follow through. It might not make sense, but in spirit world, it does. And these calls to action were given to you for a reason. So just wanted to share, that came forward for me to share here, because it is, again, how we see our journey. And this life, past life, some of you might have experiences that you have accessed in the past lives. I always wanted to have it. I started when I was about 13. I was like, I want to know my past lives. Later on, I did get the access, but it was like, did I ever have a nice life? Like, but normally you kind of, at least that's in my experience, you recall things that you haven't resolved because they come for healing. So it is an opportunity, and this life as well. Like whatever happened in the past, it does not need to define you. Whatever you went through, it doesn't take away the light and love that you are. It is still there, but sometimes there are layers of pain and hurt. But you can connect again to the love and light that is within you. So that just came forward. So
Beautiful.
There you go. You asked, I delivered something.
Yeah. So. It's interesting, kind of I had a lot of things pop in my head as you were speaking. There's a lot of importance and meaning that we attach to stories. And there's a lot of models and methodologies and techniques and exercises that are all designed to help us move beyond the story. And however you get to that, whatever approach feels appropriate for you to work with and to play with. There's two things that I've heard from Spirit that I want to share at this point and see if others want to be shared later. But the other day, and I forget who was channeling, but it was a channeled message, and Spirit made a comment about how we live through our darkest moments in this lifetime, and when we go back to the energetic side of our experience, those are the moments that we enjoy the most. It's not the moments that we enjoy being human the most, but it's the moments that we enjoy the most when we are back in spirit form, because those are the differences. Those are the fun parts. That's where the richness is of our experience. which is one of the reasons that we choose to come to human experience on Earth. I've had conversations with spirit that say, I don't want to incarnate as a human because I don't want to deal with the anger and the loss and, you know, all of the emotions that you guys deal with. You know, so it is a choice. It is a choice. And I just want to highlight again, everything happens for us is something that we are being reminded of through pretty much every spiritual channel, every spiritual teacher talks about this aspect. It's taking responsibility of our own creation, of our own life. We're the creators of our own creation is a phrase that the council through Sarah Landon likes to use a lot. And so taking that ownership, that responsibility for our own journey, for our own experience, is a critical element of developing your spiritual growth. It's imperative. And the stories that we tell ourselves, I don't want to belittle them because I have some of them too, but they're just stories. That's all it is. It's just a story. And one of the things that I've been learning and pointing myself towards recently is letting go of the stories, because it's just a story. The stories are giving us a limitation. The stories are showing us the reason why we can't do something or can't feel something or can't experience something. We're utilizing the stories as a reason for a perceived limitation that we are giving meaning to. And so if it's working with a past life, it's working with Katja to, you know, share your stories and have her highlight the things that are kind of holding you back, and then whatever models she uses to work with you to release them, you know, have it be, you know, whatever it is, understanding that what we pay attention to and the meaning that we give it is what shapes our experience. And when we start to see the power that the stories have of holding us back, it almost seems silly to keep holding on to them. It's like, oh, a perceptual limitation. All limitations are perceptions. And so one of the things that I play with a lot is that we are all source energy. We hear this across all different kind of models and platforms and ideas and gurus and, you know, mystics from the ages have talked to us about the fact that we are source energy. If I am source energy, what am I limited by? What can't I do if I am source energy? If I am the energy that creates worlds and universes and dimensions, why would I have any limitation? And so what I love about the work that Katja does is, you know, she works a lot with the stories. And my interpretation of the work that she does is that she makes it possible for you to let go of your stories, to change your perception of your stories so that it creates a different meaning. It releases the meaning that you've given it. So it gives you more room and more space to grow for new ideas to come as things are released. You know, the idea that you can't fill a cup when it's full. You need to empty the cup for new things to be entered into the cup. And so any story work is about releasing the stories and making room within your cup so that you can allow new experiences to come into your experience. So I love that. I think that that's beautiful, Katja. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. And it's also like discovering the lessons we learned, because often we might be repeating some karmic patterns. And until we learn, this is my belief, until we learn the lesson, until we see the lesson, we keep repeating the same pattern. This life, next life, the next life after that, we are just repeating. But when we discover, okay, that was the thing I was learning, because I believe our souls are all about the lessons we can learn here. And that's what you shared earlier. It's like they are celebrating these challenging moments because it's like, yes, I got to learn so much. But in this human form, we are like, did I really plan all this? Like, seriously? But if we look into this in soul's perspective, it's like, okay, hey, I'm having a great time. I'm learning a lot. It's like, yay, there we go. And then we can, when we find these lessons, that's the moment when the magic happens also with my clients. Because when they tap into that lesson, the energy in the story changes. The reason why they want to share their story changes. It's not the poor me story. It's like, I learned this thing and I want to share it with you so that you can have easier way on your path, because you can use this as inspiration. And that's a key. Like when you shift that energy, the place where you are sharing your story, when you're embracing those lessons, it also influences then your future, because you have got that wisdom in from that experience. And maybe then you can evolve from here. So you don't need to keep pawning here again and again. But they say that there are a line of souls want to come here because you learn so fast here on this level.
I love the idea of looking at the perception of our stories not from a perspective of poor me, but of noticing them as the experience and sharing and speaking of the experience from a point of power, as opposed to victimhood.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of parallels in what you're sharing with a lot of things that I hear in other places, which is this idea of, again, we're all looking to help you step into your power in whatever ways we are doing that. But I'm speaking for Katja. But I presume that this is, when she says, that she has the intention of working for your highest good, your highest good is allowing you to step into your power, whatever. Again, that's a term that means different things for different people. But so Katja, I wanted to kind of bring you to the topic and subject that kind of came forward for you. Your soul story, awakening to your true potential and purpose. What is that? Why did that come forward for you as a topic? What is it about that your team wanted to kind of share and speak about? And I'm going to put her a little bit on the spot here. When we spoke, I said to her that at some point in the conversation, I was going to ask her, as I tend to do a lot, what does your team want to share with us in this moment? And so I'm going to get to that. But I'm curious, again, I'm being very transparent with my intentions for those of you that are kind of new to the journey, again, new to this experience with me hosting these conversations. So when I asked you what your team wanted to share for a topic, and this is what came to you, can you talk to us about that experience of what came to you and what was associated with it? And again, did you hear it? Did you feel it? Did you sense it? How did it come about?
So again, this was like direct download. And what I mean with this soul story, that was kind of helping people to start seeing their lives from different perspective. And I feel, and the message I received is like, it's time now to start shifting how we go here, because we have been repeating these lifetimes and lifetimes, but it's time for us to now start getting those lessons and celebrating, embracing them, so that we can evolve so that we can gain that wisdom. And it also helps when we see the life from soul's perspective. It just shifts our learning experience here, because so long we have been learning through like challenges, pain, suffering. That has been the way for us to learn. But we can start learning through joy as well. But first, we need to learn our lessons. So the soul story is those discovering those lessons and really, really embracing and connecting with them, because that will bring you gratitude, and the gratitude will uplift you and your energy and your consciousness as well. And the more we free ourselves from the past, the more we free ourselves from those past hurts, we become lighter and lighter and lighter. Because if we have something that holds us back, if we have unresolved issues here, we are coming back, because we get another lifetime to sort them out. So that's why it's so important to discover that soul story and doing it in a positive sense, like finding those lessons, finding those gifts, so that you are getting lighter. So you are not dragging a big bag of past hurts with you. You resolve them, and you take that wisdom, but you let go of the pain and hurt and suffering.
So this
that's what was this whole idea.
Yeah, and so this kind of speaks to the second part of that subject, which is awakening to your true potential and purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's possible. It's like so many of us, and I'm there too, are held back by our past. From this life, past lives, like things that happen start limiting us, limiting our potential, limiting our beliefs, what we can do here. And we can again tune in, even when it comes to channeling. Some of us might feel like, I can't do that because of something that happened in the past. But you can find that connection with spirit, or whatever you call it. But you can. But there are these experiences that might make you feel and believe differently.
For those of you that again are new to me, I've got bushes just outside my window, and there's birds that like to play inside the bush. So if you see me looking out, I'm being distracted by the birds that are that are catching my eye.
They are messengers.
They're beautiful. I love seeing them play in the branches as they kind of play with each other and just sit on a branch and just perch themselves there for a while. So it's fun to kind of have them as visitors. So invitation again, as always, to people that are listening. Feel free to ask any questions if there's anything that you want us to explore or talk about in more detail, or if you have a question for Katja and her work, please feel free to interact with us. So Katja, life's purpose, true potential and purpose. Can you talk about that a bit more? What does that mean to you?
So the full potential is really fulfilling your purpose here, because we all have our unique gifts, we have our own unique talents, aspirations, and I feel like all of us have already the seed of our purpose in our heart. And it is, again, connecting to it, awakening to it. And that doesn't come always through your mind. I was completely in a different career path. I was working in one of the world's leading business banks when I started to feel that I want to do something completely different. And I want to be coaching, counseling, doing more spiritual work. And I jumped out from that career path. And for me, that was, again, just knowing and listening to my guidance. And yes, I did fight against it. I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. I was like resisting. It was scary. But then my body started saying, you better listen or I will stop working. I started to have a chest pain. And when you have a chest pain, you start taking things more seriously. And then I did that leap of faith and changed the direction where I was going. So again, that was a crossroad for me, a point of choice. And we have this, like, whatever level those are, it's just the choices that we make. But if you really tune in, I feel like we know already what we are here to do. And of course, our role as well, our purpose might evolve during the years. But it's, again, what story you are telling yourself about your journey. And one of my spiritual teachers always says, like, use everything for your growth, learning, and upliftment. So if you have been checking out different things and you feel you are not yet connected with your purpose, what story are you telling yourself about all those journeys that you have done? Make a positive one for yourself. Because you are the one who's telling that story within you. So make it something that supports and uplifts you. Maybe it's just you are here to find different experiences and you are testing out and like learning through those experiences. So again, it is the choice, but I believe that there is that deep, deep knowing within you already when you connect with your soul, with your spirit guides, whoever you listen to. You can ask guidance, you can ask support for you to get more clear what you are here to do. Because when you've come to that place, when you find that deeper knowing of your purpose, it just brings so much peace. And it just brings the, okay, I am here to play my part. And we all are. Like all of you here now as well. You came here for a reason. There was something that made you like, okay, I'm going to check the session. I'm going to be here. And it is, again, this is a piece of a puzzle. Like there are many pieces. And you are building your lifetime here through the choices that you make. And there, I don't believe there is right and wrong. It's kind of like, it's just experiences. You choose something, okay, that you get an experience from all our choices. So whatever choices you have made, just have compassion with yourself. And you can have more choices in the future so that you can take those steps forward to fulfilling your purpose here, what you came here to do. So that just came forward for this.
Yeah, it's lovely because you made a comment a while ago that really stuck in my head and it made me laugh. Since we're making all of this up anyway, we might as well make up a story that we enjoy.
Yeah, why not?
You know, and so it always rings true, you know. So Let me kind of put you on the spot a little bit. Just kind of connect with your team, just find out if there's something that they want to share. What is that they want to bring forward that hasn't already been said?
So there is an invitation for all the people here to just connect with the higher realms. And how you do that is just, if you're in a safe place now, you can even now just imagine that you're uplifting your awareness through crown chakra to higher and higher, higher and higher, until you reach the soul realm. And from this place, you can see yourself living your life, going through the experiences that you go through. You're just observing. You can have compassion as you see yourself going through this human experience. And from this place, you can see with greater clarity the lessons that you can learn through these experiences. You can receive guidance as you see more clearly now. Your mind is more open to receive. And you have enormous peace within you. And you trust. And from this place, you know that all is well. It always has been, it always will be, as it is. All is well. From this place, you can just tune in and connect with the light and higher wisdom. You may receive whatever you need. And from this place, you can tune into your heart and just say thank you, thank you, thank you for the opportunity to experience this realm. And we are gently making our way back. We are just starting to travel back into your physical body. We are going all the way down, going back through your crown chakra. All the parts of you are coming back. You are all back in your physical body. And you can move your body a little bit and bringing all parts of you back, becoming more and more aware of your surroundings. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and see your life in a new light. So as we went through this experience, that was what came forward for me to share. And this is a place for you that is available for you. And it is a place where you can more easily see those experiences from a different light and have the compassion with yourself, as that is another key for you as you are going through this journey. So that's what came forward.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Compassion for ourselves, recognizing the innocence in our actions, in our choices. It's something that we all kind of strive for, is being kind to ourselves.
Yeah, because we are doing the best that we can in any given moment.
In the communication that I've seen from you, I'm going to change direction a little bit. I think it was your website. I don't remember if it was a website or how it is that I came across it, but I ended up signing up to something that you offered that was related to helping people expand their business, to improve their business in a spiritual business. And so I would love to kind of, pick your brain a little bit in that direction. What about, let's just kind of start there. So just kind of bringing up that subject, can you kind of talk a little bit more about what you do and how this plays out in your work with people that you work with?
Yeah. So I normally help people with their stories. So the story is one of the essential elements every entrepreneur should have. Like, because that is a way for you to share why you are doing what you're doing. And that's a way for you to build a connection with others. And that helps then to attract more clients, because when there is connection, they choose you because they feel connected with you and not for all the others who are doing similar work. So I help entrepreneurs then sharing their story, whether it is the origin story, why you are doing what you do. And then there is everyday stories you can use on social media to, again, building connections. And then there is also what we have been talking more here is the possible limiting inner stories that you are telling yourself that might be holding you back with your business, like creating the impact and that you desire. So that's the ways how I help do the story work when it comes to more entrepreneur types. So different ways to use stories so that people can thrive.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, sure thing.
Anything else coming up for you? It's okay if not.
Yeah, I am feeling pretty complete, and just wanting to also invite anyone who might be interested in exploring the idea of stories further, because I know you put the links to decide to whether it is getting my guide about inner stories, or then having a session with me if you want to start discovering your soul story. So that would be another opportunity for you, so we could dive deeper to your specific situation. Because it's again, I really feel it's time for us to clear the past hurts and then use our stories for inspiration so that we can help others.
Yeah, so if you go to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit website and you look at Katja's bio, there's a link there for 3 inner stories that block coaches and healers reaching 6 figures. It's a guide. Discover 3 inner stories that can block you from reaching your income goals, plus her 5-step process on how to transform them. And she's also, if you click on the special invitation button, you will see that she's also offering a complimentary discovery session, so that the both of you can kind of get to know each other and explore this idea of how stories are impacting your life and how you can utilize stories to have more impact in your life. So it's looking at both sides of the story, utilizing stories as a asset versus as a liability. And so if you're interested, reaching out to her, for those of you that are listening to this afterwards, Katja's website is katjarusanen.com, and that's KatjaRusanen.com. So you can always reach out to her. And of course, the description and her website link is going to be in the description of the episode. So you can always go to that as well. So for anybody that's listening, if anybody has any questions or comments or anything that you want to share or ask, please feel free. Katja, thank you for coming to play with us, for joining us. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us and inviting us to create and develop a better story for ourselves. I think that that's very important for all of us to play with.
Beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for anybody that is going to be sticking around, joining us for the next episode, that is going to be Catherine Flynn. She's joined us in the past. She tends to channel the Druids, though that can change as well. So we'll see what comes forward. And that's going to be at the top of the hour. So at 3:00 Eastern time. And again, 30 minutes beforehand, you'll get an email from me with a reminder of the link. And I look forward to chatting with you guys again. Katja, thank you again. Really appreciate you joining us. And I will leave you for now with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more. Have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.